Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. My name is Emily and I like to share plant care videos, interior decorating, and personal and business type of videos. By the look of the title, you guys know today's video is going to be a little bit more on the business and personal side. I'm going to share some tips with you guys on how to grow your Instagram, find your aesthetic, and start building your personal brand. So if you want to start an Instagram page and maybe want to start it off as a hobby, I know eventually you'll want to maybe monetize that, become an influencer, and start working with brands. But before getting to that point, I have a few tips that can hopefully help you get started or help you get on the right track so you could potentially get to that point. So when I started my Classy Casita page, I didn't think that I was going to be working with such large brands like World Market and Walmart and other amazing home and lifestyle brands. But all of this happened in less than 2 years of having my Instagram page. And of course, I'm super thankful for all the opportunities that I've had, and I love the track that I'm on, but obviously I want to keep improving. I thought I'd start off by giving you guys a little backstory on how I started my Classy Casita page and share some tips that I learned along the way that helped me really grow my following. So I have my laptop right here because I literally wrote out basically a 5-page paper, which I will be making this into a blog post if you guys ever want to circle back on it. I'll have a link to the blog post down below that you can find on my website. But I'm just gonna go ahead and give you guys a little backstory of when I started my page. So I started the Classy Casita page 2 years ago, exactly September 2018. So before I started my Classy Casita page, it was when I was just starting to get into plants. I was learning a lot about them, and I was on Instagram following plant pages and other like-minded people on there. So I discovered a bunch of plant pages and interior decorating pages, and I was just so amazed because I had no idea about that side of Instagram. I was just focused on my personal Instagram and my other business Instagram, where I was only stuck in the food and beverage side of Instagram. I always loved interior design. Plants were starting to become my new hobby, and something was just making me feel like I really wanted to start a page of myself. And you probably know what I mean if you don't have a hobby page yet. Maybe there's a specific type of Instagram that you've been wanting to start but just haven't yet. And since I already had experience from growing my business account for LAU'S, I decided why not just make it. I was also kind of just feeling like I was missing something in my life at that moment. I just really wanted something that would be more fulfilling and just fun. Again, it just was a hobby for me at first, but it really did bring a lot of happiness to me right when I started it. When I started my page, I did not tell anybody though. I was so embarrassed about what people would think. And I know how this is how everybody feels when they first start it, or maybe not everybody, but most people feel embarrassed. So I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell my boyfriend at the time. I didn't tell him from the very beginning. I basically waited until I was super excited about it and I just needed to share. And something that I quickly realized when growing my Classy Casita page is how much faster that it grew compared to my business page. And why? Because it is personal. Which brings me to tip number 1. Share who you are and be personable. Instagram is a social media account. You need to be personable. You need to share who you are. People want to know the person behind the account. And if you never show who you are, then it's going to be really difficult for somebody to put a face or a voice to a caption or a picture, which I think is really important because whenever I'm reading a friend's caption, I love how I can instantly read it in their voice or just imagine their expression. And honestly, it's a great way for me to connect a lot easier. And this is what you want. You want people to be able to connect with you more easily and basically start to form a friendship, because that's what it is. It's a social media app. You're there to make friends, and that's why I love it for that reason. So once I had my page for a couple of months, of course I had some weeks when I wasn't as active, but that is something that's really important. You need to be consistent and always be active, even when you aren't posting. Which brings me to tip number 2. Be consistent, but don't post just to post. So it's really important to keep a consistent presence on Instagram. This is an app that people are on every single day and hours of the day. And every day people are getting constant information. If you are not making your appearance every single day, then it's really easy for people to possibly forget about you or something like that. This is something that's really important in the beginning, because that's when you want to start forming those relationships with people and have them learn more about you. I see it as when you're dating somebody new or you just made a new best friend, you constantly want to be talking to them. That's how I felt in the beginning. I was making new friends. I wanted to keep talking and share plant tips and comment on each other's videos and just motivate each other, give each other feedback and stuff like that, and just be encouraging with one another, which is what I love about the plant and interior side of Instagram, because they are the sweetest people that I have ever met. So it's been a great experience so far connecting with everyone. So I knew that I had to be consistent when trying to grow my page, but a mistake that I did in the beginning was sometimes posting just to post and not really sharing good quality content. My content is way better than it was in the beginning, which is a given. You're only going to get better as you are posting and learning and improving each day. What I decided to do if I didn't have a good post to share on my feed, then I would just make a bigger effort of being more active on Instagram stories. And not just that, but I make sure that I'm always commenting and messaging people. And like I said, you're building friendships here, so it's really important to engage with other like-minded people. Another thing that I like to make sure to do is to constantly be commenting, making conversations, following new people. It's fun anyways. I'm sure you're scrolling all the time on Instagram, so it's really important to engage with other people. Like I mentioned, it's a social media app, so you need to be social. So that's really important to make sure that you're active, at least doing that, if you're not going to post like an amazing post that's going to get you seen all over that. Okay, and tip number 3, find your niche, then your aesthetic. And the reason why I'm saying find your niche and then your aesthetic is because when I first started my page, I did focus it on plants and plant care, just everything about plants. So those were the type of people that I was mostly connecting with. I was connecting with other plant lovers and the plant community, and that was a good start to growing my page because it was under one specific niche. And I only had to focus on one type of content. But eventually I started sharing more of my home and got a little bit more into the decorating side of it. And it kind of all just like meshed together anyways, because I personally see plants as home decor, so it was really easy to just combine those two niches together and then be able to gain another type of audience, which came from the interior decorating side of Instagram. However, as it grew and I started sharing more about myself, people knew me a little bit better, I was comfortable enough to start sharing more of my life. So I share more lifestyle and travel content. Now I see it as less of a niche type of page and more of just an aesthetic page. Also, I would like to apologize about the lighting. It's super gloomy today. The sun's moving all around. I don't know what to do. I'm hoping that it's okay. Okay, now moving on to tip number 4 is try to create more shareable content. So what does this mean? It means, sure, I have some cute pictures on my feed, but there are those specific photos or videos that have really made a difference in growing my page. And why? Because they were more shareable. So people like a photo or a reel enough that they want to share it on their Instagram stories or send it to a friend or bookmark it. That is what makes the difference. So of course, not all of our posts are going to be the most shareable or go viral or anything like that, but it's important to keep in mind what your audience wants to see, because remember, they are your friends, so you want to create content that you know that they're going to like, and because you and your audience are like-minded, then just think about the type of stuff that you like to see or want to see. Which brings me to tip number 5, connect with like-minded people. So once your content begins to be a bit more shareable, you can start tagging larger pages, using their hashtags if they have any, and hopefully be shared by those who have a huge reach. That's a great way to get your content shared on a larger scale and faster. So I highly encourage looking up those popular pages that are within your niche, check their bios, see if they have a hashtag that will help you get featured on their page and stuff like that. And then as you get more followers and start feeling like, okay, this could become like an influencer page. I know for me, once I hit 10K was when I felt more comfortable reaching out to other girls, and we would link up and give each other shout outs on our stories, and that's a really great way to obviously grow your account as well. And I still do this with pages that I love. Every Saturday, unless I'm busy and can't, I have a Plant Mom Saturday shout out. So I reach out to pages that I'm loving, whether big or small, or the same size following as me. I reach out to them because if I love their account, I know my followers are going to love it. And so far that's been really well. I've gotten some good response from it. I know my audience has reached out to tell me that they've followed a specific influencer because I shared them, or I've even received messages saying that they're following me because that specific influencer mentioned me or shared my page. So that's been really, really effective. Now I want to talk about the more basics, and you guys probably already know this, but I figured why not share it again as a little reminder. So you need to take good quality photos. And this doesn't mean go off and buy a super expensive camera. I already had a good camera because I take product photography for my business. So that was a good start for me. But nowadays our iPhones are amazing. They do everything. The quality is amazing. I still sometimes post photos that I take from just my iPhone, and sometimes they do better than the ones that I've posted from my camera. Which leads me to your feed should look appealing. So even if you have a nice camera or you're using your new iPhone to take a picture, you're still gonna want to learn to edit your photos. If you're using your iPhone, you can literally edit straight from your Photos app, or you can download some editing apps. I use Lightroom and sometimes Snapseed to edit my photos. I also used a preset in the beginning to have a more cohesive look on my feed, but as my style was changing and stuff like that, I kind of wanted to change things up a little bit to make it feel more myself. And so I went ahead and went on YouTube, looked up videos for how to edit in Lightroom. And obviously I'm not a pro or anything. I'm still learning. I should still spend some more time really to learn a little bit more. But it really helped to spend a little bit of extra time and learn how to properly edit. You can literally start off with an Etsy preset. They can be as cheap as $5, or you can even go on this website called A Color Story where they have so many great presets. They can get a little bit pricey, but it really just depends on which preset you're choosing. So they have a lot of great options. Or you can see if your favorite influencers are selling presets, because a lot of them actually do. Okay, and next I want to say be yourself, be original. I know it's important to look at other pages and see what they're doing, see what's working for them, but in the end, it's always important to be yourself. Anybody could put a preset on a pretty picture, but if you are yourself and are being unique, then people will be able to set you apart from others, and that is what really makes the difference. And once I moved into my new apartment, I knew my style was changing. It's a place of my own, so I can decorate however I want. So obviously my feed was going to change a little bit too. So as my style was changing, I decided to, instead of just having somebody else's preset all over my page, I decided to learn to edit better, make my Instagram feed really feel more like me. And so I learned how to edit my pictures, and now I have my own preset for myself. It makes things easier when I'm editing, and of course it's helping me keep that cohesive look on my feed. Another thing I like to make sure to do, since I share not only plants anymore, but also interior decorating and some lifestyle and sometimes travel photos, I like to make sure that I'm switching things up and not just posting pictures of like all the same room or things like that. So I like to use the app Preview, where I can test the new picture that I want to use and see how it looks on my feed. This is a really great app because it basically helps you plan out your posts to make sure that it looks appealing. And lastly, I want to share that you should keep learning. I didn't just learn these things from my own experience, but I made sure that I did my research when I was starting. I'm constantly going on YouTube looking up marketing and growth strategies, and this was not only important for my Classy Casita page, but it was really important for my business page when I was starting it, which I'm not gonna lie, it's been really difficult trying to put the same amount of energy on both my Classy Casita page and my Rose Dose page. I am far more active on my Classy Casita page because it's more personal. But for my Rose Dose page, I am very thankful that with the type of product that I sell, I have repeat customers and I sell a lot on Amazon, so I'm constantly having people tag me in their stories and I get to reshare. So that's been a great way to grow my audience on that type of business page. So don't forget to keep on learning. And the YouTubers that I was watching in the beginning when I was really trying to grow my Instagram page was Sunny LENARDUZZI and VANESSA LAU. I seriously love their videos, and I know that there are so many other YouTubers that share tips on growth strategies and social media and marketing, but these are the two YouTubers that I started watching since the very beginning. I just love their style of videos. They're super motivating. They get you pumped up to create great content. So I highly recommend checking them out. So I'll go ahead and link their channels down below because you guys should really check them out. They have great content. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you learned at least one new thing. Please let me know down in the comments if you guys have any questions or if you want to keep seeing more videos like this where I talk about Instagram, YouTube, or business and marketing. And if you've been watching my videos for a while now but aren't subscribed yet, then what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And it'll help this page keep growing, and maybe eventually I can share a video about how I grow my YouTube channel, because I was actually able to monetize this channel in less than 3 months. So I'm sure you guys might want to hear about that if you're also interested in possibly starting a YouTube channel. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and found it helpful, and I will see you next time.